These days, everything seems to be driven by technology. We have technology everywhere. I mean, the internet is very, very huge right now. Basically, everybody uses the email to send messages. In order to have that infrastructure in place, there's a lot of technology behind the scenes, networking that is involved. And because everybody uses the web, we store a lot of information. So there's basically databases on the back end to support all that.
Well, I think technology is, by definition, is always changing. If I sort of recall the initial times when, like I said, when we sort of started GIT and sort of what it looked like back then in terms of what the courses we were teaching, what the lab setup was like, and all these kind of things, it was completely different from what it is now.
Global Information Technology is an IT school, and we're in Southfield, Michigan. And we offer networking classes, programming classes, database classes.
We have a lot of partnerships with a lot of the large IT providers such as Microsoft. We're Microsoft certified Silver partner. We're an Oracle Workforce Development partner. We're an IBM partner. And all of these partnerships really enable us to sort of have access to the latest software. So our students are able to get experience with sort of the latest and greatest software that is out in the field, and then sort of put that on the resume. When it comes to job placement time, they can say, well, I have experience with, the following version of Oracle, or the following version of, say, Microsoft Office. And that is something that then they can take sort of basically with them into their job search, which I think makes them sort of very good candidates at that point.
Well, Job Placement Services, I'm constantly networking for the students here to help them find employment. So I go to networking events to meet people at companies, to find them employment. So I have a lot of recruiters that I'm working with, human resource managers that I work with. So when I have a candidate that's finished certification, I go ahead and submit their resume to my recruiters, and I probably have 100 people that I know that are helping and willing to place our students right now. What I'm trying to do is provide people with education on how to find employment or what to do to gain confidence to get that employment. So today I'm doing a LinkedIn seminar, which is LinkedIn is a database for professionals, and I'm going to teach people how to use that database to gain contacts to get employment.
Any questions I've ever had about anything, staff's always here to answer it. Job placement here is great. That's how I got my job, is through Melissa. The faculty is great. They very knowledgeable. What I like best about it is they teach you the stuff that's not in the book. You can read a book about computers and learn a lot, but as far as getting what's in between the lines, you're not going to get that unless you have somebody who's knowledgeable in the field. And their instructors definitely have that.
It is very important in the sense that basically because we use the technology day in, day out, we have on-the-job experience, troubleshooting problems in the real world, and we basically bring that to the classroom in basically helping our students to understand how the technology works in the real world. And then basically we also help them in understanding how it works, and then basically troubleshooting skills. We bring that into the classroom, and we help our students to tie that into the training materials.
The classes are challenging. You do have to work. You've got to do a lot of reading, a lot of studying, a lot of exams. But moving on to the instructors, is they're there to help you with all that. If you need help studying, you need extra time. I know they provide time before and after class to answer questions, help you understand stuff that you might just not get, and they make sure you have a firm grasp of it before the class is over.
Well, so all of our labs, so we're actually Dell authorized partners, and just because we do sort of a large sort of sales volume with Dell, and all of our labs are set up with fairly recent Dell computers, all flat panel monitors, very fast computers from a processing speed, lots of memory, hard drive space, and so on. We run all virtual environments. So what that means is basically it allows an instructor to switch over from sort of one subject to another without a lot of work. So for example, we might have a class where we teach, for example, Cisco certification, and they have their own sort of virtual environment where they have all the tools they need to understand whatever the instructor needs to teach them. It makes it one very easy from an administration standpoint, because we simply just have to load on whatever sort of virtual environment the instructor needs. But we also give the students the facility to say, well, you can take this virtual image and take a copy of it home with you if you like. so that way, again, they can sort of practice at home within the same exact setup that they have here at Global IT. Really is the fact that, that students can take the environment they see here and take it with them to their home. And again, I think from a practice perspective, I think that's ultra important. Only because I see sort of from the IT side, I see the utilization of that. So I can see how many students are actually using our remote services, for example, and people are logged in there at all times of the day, you know, practicing with their particular classes.
Believe that hands-on always 100%. That way, that if the student leaves global, they can always be more comfortable and up to date with their skill, and someone else, our company will hire them, and they would be able to say, yes, I can do this, and be very comfortable with it.
One other sort of facility that we offer our students is it's basically a media management tool. And so every student gets a unique username and password to this, and what happens is it's a way for the instructor for a particular class to communicate with a student. And the instructor, for example, can post their lecture tools, their lecture slides, for example, what was covered in the class. They're able to set up sort of digital assignments, sort of homework assignments, where the students can then log in and say, oh, I have an assignment that's due tomorrow, and the student can then attach their solution to this assignment, and the instructor then receives it. So it's basically sort of like a gateway between the student and the instructor.
It's very beneficial in the sense that we get the students get a lot more one-on-one time. Basically, you know, they don't feel pressured in order to not to ask questions, because sometimes they feel that if they have to ask too many questions, that might bring down the class. Because this is a smaller size, I'm able to work with them individually without actually bogging down the entire duration of the program. Basically, because of the way we conduct the training, I think basically students with or without the information technology background will benefit, because the classes are designed in such a way to basically take you from not having any experience in information technology up to that point where you're actually comfortable and you're able to pass the certification. So we are able to accommodate students with or without information technology experience.